All right, guys, another close game, another Jazz win. They had a lot of things in their favor, like they've had all season, but hey, they get the win again. Let's talk about it. It's the Hoops Nerd postgame show. All right, guys, let's starting terribly. I'm kind of flabbergasted by the Jazz getting another win when really they should be thinking about doing other things. But let's talk about it. Let's first talk about the Celtics and what they're up to. Honestly, this was going to be a tough game for the Celtics no matter what. The Celtics were coming into this. It was a back end of a back-to-back. They were flying from Portland, which is just a brutal. That's a brutal back-to-back. Everyone who does that struggles when they come to Utah because it's the elevation from being in Portland the day before, and they had to be exhausted. They did not have Al Horford, who's been phenomenal for them this year. It looks like they had him sitting for illness, but I could be wrong. Let me know, Celtics fans, in the comments, but I imagine that this was really kind of a planned rest for him just because he's an older player, but he has been phenomenal this season. If you look at what he's shooting from three, he's been out of his mind this season for this Boston Celtics team. Let's see, 2023 shooting 45% from three. Look at that. So the Celtics were missing that, although they kind of made up for it from Grant Williams, who made the stupidest play I've ever seen to end the game. But 7 for 12 from three. He was awesome from the corner. He was really good. The Celtics team, it was so good to start the season. Offensively, they were out of control. They were so good. Let's go look at where they are now for the season. But led by Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they have been just fantastic. So let's go here. Boom. Offensive rating. Celtics have fallen to fourth. They were number one and by a mile to start the season. So things have kind of fallen off a little bit. A lot of that could be kind of injury based and things like that. They've also just kind of slowed down. I mean, you can't have everyone on your team shooting just insane. I mean, the 3-point percentages they were shooting were insane. And so that was always going to slow down. And we've seen that a little bit, but still you see a player like Al Horford shooting 45% from three and doesn't play. And it changes a lot of things for the Celtics. Also them just likely being exhausted, and they did look tired at times. They started the game well, didn't end the game strong. One of the major things the Jazz did in this game is they had a game plan that they were going to take Jayson Tatum out of this game. Tatum goes 4 for 12 from the field. The Jazz were really good. I mean, obviously some of this is just being tired, but the Jazz were blitzing him, double teaming him multiple times. They ran multiple zones, which was interesting. I can't remember who was doing the post game. I think it was Taylor Horton Tucker said that they had put in a zone yesterday to use today, which is incredible. Coaching from Will Hardy. And honestly, Will Hardy outcoached Joe Mazzulla. I would like to see what Celtics fans think of Joe Mazzulla down below. Do you like him? I know Bill Simmons is not a huge fan. And I think the Jazz kind of stole Will Hardy from the Celtics. I wonder if there's Celtics fans that wish Will Hardy was still in Boston coaching the Celtics. But anyways, the Jazz took Jayson Tatum out of this game in a lot of ways, and the Celtics just didn't really find a lot of ways to take advantage of it, although you can kind of see that here in the 3-point percentage because you found Grant Williams open in the corner a lot, and he was knocking him down. So, and he scores 23 tonight. His season average, 8.3. So you can see right there the points that normally Tatum might have gotten in isolation went to Grant Williams, and he knocked him down. And so Grant Williams deserves some credit that he was a guy just hitting shots. Those corner threes were just going down like crazy. Jaylen Brown was amazing tonight. 25 points, just solid efficiency, and he's been so good this season. He's just awesome. And so this duo of Tatum and Brown is phenomenal. And honestly, I mean, the Celtics with this loss, they fall below the Sixers in the standings. I think they're now the number 3 seed, which would have sounded crazy 2 months ago. But I still think they're really, really good, and I still think it's going to be an Eastern Conference Finals of the Celtics and the Bucks. It'll be basically a repeat of last year, and we'll see if was it the Bucks? Oh, I think they met in the second round last year. I can't remember, but anyways, they did meet in the playoffs last year. The Celtics go on, but they didn't have Chris Middleton last year on the Bucks, and so it'll be interesting to see what goes on with them. But anyways, this Celtics team can still shoot lights out. I mean, you look at all these guys that can put it up and just knock down threes. For the game, they shot 43% from three. So offensively, they were great. I mean, they just really, I think you have to give it a little bit of, chalk it up to just some tired legs, back end of a back-to-back on the road. Portland to Utah is brutal, 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 brutal. I don't think people realize how tough of a back-to-back that is. It's a time zone change. I think, so you go from like Pacific time to Mountain time. I don't know. It's just a tough back-to-back. And then obviously the elevation in Utah. They've got to be tired. So, and then no Al Horford, obviously no Williams either. So they just don't really have a center presence. And the Jazz really took advantage of it with Walker Kessler, who had a monster night, and obviously the game-winning block. But you just got to give credit to the Celtics team, who's really good. Malcolm Brogdon's been a great pickup for them ever since they got him. Derek White has also just continued to be a really solid player for them, rotation guy that can fill in. And they didn't have Marcus Smart, who's also been struggling recently. So I don't know if that really hurt him all that much. He's been struggling a lot. And maybe he gets back to form during the playoffs and it doesn't matter. But they didn't have him tonight, and they could have with the defense he provides. So that's all I got, Celtics fans. Let's see. Let's talk about the Utah Jazz. They win again. And you guys know how I feel. I know if you're a fan excited about the Jazz win, then great. I'm happy for you. They keep winning games like this. And I have to say, I mean, like I said, the Celtics were on a back end of back-to-back. The Jazz were on 5 days rest in this one. Still resting Colin Sexton, still resting Jordan Clarkson. So I think the Jazz thought they could possibly lose this one, and they still win. It's pretty wild. I think at this point, the goal is to just develop the younger talent, and we'll see what happens next season. Ezekiel Rice-Ebe, it's the happy Hoops Nerd face. No, it's the sad Hoops Nerd emoji. For me, okay? It's a sad emoji. It's not work. You're right. You're right. The strategy's not working. They traded away all their good veterans. This channel's brought to you by Diet A&W. They traded away. There we go. There we go. Jazz can't lose for winning. DWCB. Right. One thing's for sure. And I know this is the thing you got to be happy about if you're the Jazz. One, you have a remarkable head coach. Will Hardy's unbelievable. I was looking at this stat. I kind of want to bring this up. So let's see. Can I just bring this over here? Look at this stat. So, the Jazz overcame a 19-point deficit to win 118-117 against the Celtics. Utah has won 7 games by a single point this season. The most by any team since the 1994-95 Spurs. Also 7. The 19-point comeback was Utah's largest since overcoming a 20-point deficit on January 9th, 2019. That's at a certain point, it's not coincidence. You have a coach that knows how to coach in the clutch. Unlike the Jazz's former head coach, who arguably wasn't that good of a coach in general. It was just a guy that knew how to set up systems. This head coach is incredible. And I'm to the point now. So today, and you can go to SLC Dunk and read about it, they signed Jarrell Brantley to a 10-day. I love Jarrell Brantley, by the way. I love his skill set. By the way, sneaky good pickup. He was shooting 38% from 3 in Australia. 80% from the free throw line. And we know that the free throw line is an indicator of a shooter's improvement. And he has great size, can read on the ball, passes the ball. Jazz's former head coach knew how to lose better. When they say they were trying to re-sign Quinn Snyder, one, I know that's not true. Like, that's not true. Okay? That's not true. That's not true. And two, he might have helped them tank better this year. But I don't think we would have gotten the same thing out of Lauri Markkanen and Ochai Agbaji and Colin Sexton even before he was injured, and what we're seeing from Walker Kessler. It's incredible what we're seeing from this Jazz team. They made an absolute, honestly, of all the superstars on this team, and I'm talking about Lauri Markkanen and Walker Kessler, future first team all defense. In fact, I bet Walker Kessler makes there's first, second, and third team all defense. I bet he makes at least third team. Right? How do you not have Walker Kessler on at least third team all defense. He's been unbelievable. And the Jazz have been a different team since he started. Remember back in the day when we used to think like, well, we can start Walker Kessler, right? We used to have Vando start with Kelly Olynyk and who was it? I can't even remember. Vando, Kelly Olynyk, and Lauri Markkanen. And now it's Walker Kessler, who's just an absolute beast, and he just changes everything. But Will Hardy's a superstar coach. I think he's a top 5 coach right now. I think there's a lot of people that don't realize how good he is, and the national media will catch up soon. And I am always a little hesitant to make big-time declarations. I try to keep it honest on Twitter. I try to keep it honest here. I think he's a top 3 coach. I think he's unbelievable, and he's a rookie. He's going to get better. Remember, beginning of the year, there were a few times where there was like, he didn't call a timeout maybe when he should have, maybe didn't make the substitution right as quick as he should have, and things like that. Well, that's gone. That's gone. Will Hardy's coaching the pants off of everyone every night, and it is too bad we did not have Will Hardy on this Jazz team last year or the year before especially. Unbelievable what he does. And so I like coming back to Brandosaurus. That's right, DWCB. Coming back to Brandosaurus, Jarrell Brantley, I have no doubt he's going to be all NBA. No, just kidding. But I honestly, to be serious, I have no doubt he's going to become a nice rotation player on this team, because what Will Hardy does is he gives you sets you up to succeed. He says, this is what you're good at. It's a read and react offense and defense, by the way. And it's built to allow players to play within their strengths. It's unbelievable. THT couldn't see the floor in LA. And he was hitting he hit the game-winning shot, basically, to end the game. Taylor Horton-Tucker. Try. I don't know how to get over it. All right, so Lauri Markkanen tonight, absolute superstar. 4 for 12 from 3, 10 for 23, playing against a good defensive team, elite perimeter defenders. 28 and 10 with 3 assists. Unbelievable. Hopefully the sound's still working. I believe it is. Okay? Kelly Olynyk, perfect from the free throw line. He missed some threes. You know what? Maybe this is a sign he's coming back down to earth, because since trade deadline, he's been way too good. But 13 points, 13 rebounds. That is partly why the Jazz won this game, is the Celtics didn't have Al Horford playing. And if the Celtics had Al Horford playing, they likely win this game. They just probably win the game, to be honest. But because the Jazz had the advantage inside, Kelly Olynyk out-rebounded them. Look at this rebounding. Holy smokes, actually. I don't know if we've seen this, but that's double-digit rebounds for the Jazz front court tonight. 10 for holy smokes. That's 37 between the 3. That's pretty impressive stuff. Anyways, Olynyk was solid again tonight. And 6 assists, 13 rebounds, 13 points. It'd been he's kind of, wouldn't it be funny if Olynyk was the guy that got the triple-double? That would be hilarious. I love Kelly Olynyk. I hope he's on the Jazz next year. I hope they re-sign him. Is his contract over next year? I don't know. I'm going to look it up right now live. I don't care. I believe he's making $20 million. Let's see. Let's just look at Kelly Olynyk. I hope he's on the Jazz next year, even as just a bench player. Yeah, look, he's got partly guaranteed, so he's on the Jazz next year, and I like it because I think he teaches other players how to play offense. I think Kelly Olynyk is an incredible locker room guy. Underappreciated. By the way, other fan bases that formerly had him, like the Heat and the Celtics, want him back, okay? So anyone who's a Jazz fan that badmouths Kelly Olynyk, just remember that he is the type of culture guy you want. Look at this. This is how he just took 10 shots. That's all he took, and I'm sure they were shots that he had to take. He rebounded the ball, 6 assists, and he was a plus 18. Highest on the Jazz. That tells you everything you need to know, man. And I'm happy he's on the team next year. Off the bench for 20 minutes a night, 15, 20 minutes. Fantastic. Fantastic. Because the Jazz are going to get 2 players in this draft. They're not going to be as good as I hoped. But they will be better because of, 1, Will Hardy, and 2, guys like Kelly Olynyk, who move the ball. And that's the type of basketball you want guys to play, right? You want guys to play like Kelly Olynyk, but with just better talent. You know? Isn't this the type of culture you want? Right here, you see it in the numbers. This is what you want. That's what you want. Jose Sandoval, 199. Thank you, my man. Proud of the boys tonight. The future is bright. I agree. As frustrating as this is and how much I wanted the Jazz team to get as high in the draft, and I still think the Jazz probably end up with at least pick 9 or 10 because there's just no way. I mean, maybe not. Maybe they make the playoffs. I don't know. Will Hardy's so good, I can't hardly stand it. But anyways, Lauri Markkanen is absolutely a top 15 player in the league. He's making second team All-NBA, guys. I have seen multiple people. Bill Simmons. I saw multiple people saying, I can't remember what Zach Lowe, I don't think he's released his yet. He's going to make second team All-NBA. Do you know how bonkers that is? This is crazy. The Jazz won the Donovan Mitchell trade. They got the better player. Donovan Mitchell's going to make third team All-NBA. Lauri Markkanen, second team All-NBA. That puts him, I don't know if Joel Embiid is getting first team All-NBA center or if, or what's his name? Nikola Jokic is making a second team. One of those guys is making second team All-NBA and is going to be playing with Lauri Markkanen. It's crazy. He's been that good. He's been so good. And Spida, Spida who? Finisher, for reals. He's in Cleveland, and the Jazz got the better player. It's craziness. It's crazy. And if you don't believe me, let's do a comparison right now. Right now. Okay, look. Nope. Yep. Here, we're live, okay? I don't care. Okay. Lauri Markkanen. Now, by the way, they came in the same draft. Isn't that crazy? Same draft. We'll do it live. That's right. I love that. And then Donovan Mitchell. Same season. Look at that. Same age. Are they the same age? Markkanen's a year younger. Oh my gosh. Okay, get results. All right. Hold on to your pants. Let's go. They have played, they say Lauri Markkanen's played one more game and started one more game, so they're identical there. Field goal percentage. Interesting. One of them is shooting a better field goal percentage on fewer shots. Look at that. Right there. That's incredible efficiency. Now, let's look at the splits, the 2-point and 3-point percentage. 3-point percentage. Look at that. 40%. 37. Now, can we talk about who is playing point guard for the Utah Jazz compared to who is playing point guard for the Cleveland Cavaliers? And I know Donovan sets up his own shots and is going on his own. Markkanen's playing with Talen Horton-Tucker and shooting 40% from three. And he is the best offensive player on this team. He is the focal point of every defense. One, that's two things you got to get from this. One, first, Lauri Markkanen turning himself into this player, and in year 6? I can't remember. 5 or 6, whatever it is. So impressive. So impressive for him to become this good at this point and truly deserves the most improved player. He really does. It's a great story. 2, Will Hardy finds ways to get him shots in the offense, and the players themselves are executing at a high level. It seems like everyone who comes in just figures it out. Like Chris Dunn, who was out of the league, who apparently wasn't a good offensive player, is now a core rotation player on the Jazz. It's bonkers. This is not normal. This is not normal. You don't see this. You certainly didn't see it last year with the Jazz. It's why they couldn't ever sign anyone midseason, because they knew they couldn't acclimate. But now they acclimate like the Borg. They're the Borg. And Will Hardy is that weird Borg guy with wires in his head. And he talks and he tells these players, and they immediately assimilate and destroy the Enterprise. Every time. It's crazy. Anyways, 40% from three. Focal point on lower shots. Unselfish play. Love it. 2-point percentage. Who's getting layups? Who's dunking the ball? Who's hitting their mid-range? Who's hitting that turnaround? Well, Lauri Markkanen is hitting it at a higher percentage, 58%. An effective field goal percentage. This statistic adjusts for the fact that 3-point field goals is worth more. Well, we understand that because he makes them at a higher clip. He's got a better effective field goal percentage. Free throw rate. He's going to the line more. That's superstar stuff. And by the way, this is incredible. You go look at, this is one way that actually Lauri Markkanen can get even better, which is crazy. It's crazy. You go look at like the best players out there. Go look at like prime Kawhi or like prime KD. They're going to the line at least 7-8 times a game. You know, no one's going to the line as much as Harden, and the refs, to their credit, have kind of put a stop to that. But getting to the line 6 times a game is like, it's good. It's not great. It's good. And if he can do that, you're manufacturing more points. So this is solid, and it's better than Donovan. So we give credit to Donovan. He's shooting .06 better at the line, which is kind of interesting. I wouldn't have predicted that. Look who's getting more rebounds. Lauri Markkanen, which you'd expect. And then obviously the assists go to Mitchell, who has the ball in his hands and is more of a playmaker. So this is where Lauri Markkanen could make another jump. I don't know if he has to be honest, but you know, he's gotten this much better. Maybe can he get this up to like 2.5? I don't see why not. I think that's reasonable. If he got up to like 3, then you're starting to get kind of crazy with what he does. And then block shots, steals. I mean, I guess look at that. Look, Donovan tried. Donovan finally started trying. So good for Donovan. Anyways, so more points per game for Donovan, but when you look at the details, the Jazz have a better player. And he's playing with worse teammates. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Christian, house money to Haas. Finish them. That's right. Thank you for the $2, Christian. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you very much, my friend. So anyways, have we explained how good Lauri Markkanen is? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I can't get over how good Lauri Markkanen is. And that's the thing, is like someone like me who wants us to lose games, as long as Lauri Markkanen is out there, it's very likely you're going to win the game. He undeniably deserves second team All-NBA because of what he's doing. This is bonkers. Look at this team. Look at who played. Kelly Olynyk was on the Pistons last year, and I know we talked about how great he is, but he was on the Pistons, who won the number one overall pick last year. Walker Kessler, rookie. Ochai Agbaji, rookie. Talen Horton-Tucker got traded for Pat Beverly, who's not even on the Lakers anymore. In Chicago. By the way, good job, Pat Bev, getting the Bulls that win. You're still giving me some hope. Simone Fontecchio couldn't shoot the ball for a month. Rookie. Rudy Gay, as washed as the dishes after a double rinse. Okay? Damian Jones could barely play for the Lakers, and he plays 8 minutes for us tonight. And then Chris Dunn, who was in the G League for most of this year and is now playing 20 minutes a night for the Jazz. That's how good Lauri Markkanen is. There is not a better argument for him to be second team All-NBA and for how good it's unbelievable. So this Jazz team has to get him a counterpart. You got to find it. And my hope has been during the draft. That has been my hope, truly. But maybe they can get a trade. And Tony Jones hinted at something online. Don't think I didn't watch it. Don't think I didn't see it, that the Jazz have someone in mind. I saw it. There's some... Okay, should we go there? Should we go there? Let's go there. Have you seen the Jaylen Brown rumors? Have you seen the Jaylen Brown rumors? We saw the Jaylen Brown threes tonight, but have you seen the Jaylen Brown rumors? 1, he's been saying he doesn't like the toxic fan base. Well, I guess... I don't know if Utah's a better... What's toxic mean? I don't know. Boston is not a place that really... I don't know. So I don't know if we get the leg up in terms of toxic fan bases, but whose fan base isn't toxic? And if you ain't toxic, do you really care? Do you really care? Okay, number 2, says he can't buy a house or struggling to buy a house or not. What does that mean? What does that mean? That set off my, you remember the movie Signs and the tinfoil hat? That set that off vibrating like crazy. Because guess what? That's the first sign. That is the first sign. First Who said things like, I got to calm down. I'm losing my train of thought, and I don't want to lose this train of thought. Remember Darren Williams. Here, let's go back into our history of sadness for Jazz fans. Remember him buying houses outside of Utah, and it became news? Guess what happened? He got traded because they knew he wasn't going to be on there. Gordon Hayward buys a house in San Diego. His wife puts a picture of her daughter in a clover during his decision, which he knew he was going. They all knew. I mean, I guess the Jazz just held hopes that maybe they could convince him. Though Jazz, by the way, the only team he didn't visit. In his San Diego home, they go. How terrible was that? Goes to Boston. When you start talking houses and buying houses and not buying houses in a place, that's a big tell, okay? That's a big tell. The other thing he says, it's kind of weird. Says he can't start a business or doesn't feel like the business in Boston is good or works. What is that? What does that mean? I mean, I know that's a big deal. By the way, the business thing is a big deal. There are players that make decisions based off of these things. Like Kevin Durant going to Brooklyn and teaming up with Joe Tsai. That was part of it. That is a thing. And the Jazz have an advantage in that area. You know, Joe Tsai in Brooklyn is a rich guy with like I forgot what that company is that he runs. It's a multi-billion-dollar worldwide company. That went into that decision. You can come and start a business in Utah, and a guy named Ryan Smith might be able to help you out. The guy knows a little bit about doing businesses in Utah. I'll just say that. Alibaba, thank you, DW to CB. Massive company, corporation, whatever you want to call it. Do the Jazz trade for Jaylen Brown because he's like kind of looking for a way out? He's also, and this came from, I think I tweeted it. So go to my Twitter if you want to go look at this video, but it's from the NCAA tournament. One of the guys there that has connections to Boston was talking about also, he's not happy with the playtime, like the coaching strategy. Guess who Jaylen Brown loves? Will Hardy. There's lots of tea leaves there, okay? Now, can he come to the Jazz? I don't know. Very difficult. And I doubt they're getting him in free agency. But can you make a trade that brings him over after he signs some sort of supermax? Maybe. That's great for the channel, right? Me sniffing into the mic. Anyways, I just thought that we'd talk about it because we saw Jaylen Brown tonight and he was pretty awesome on a back end of back-to-back. Really great. And seems like he'd be a really nice pairing with Lauri Markkanen and Walker Kessler. That would be a fun team to watch. All right, let's talk about Walker Kessler. He was absolutely massive in this game. He is, I mean, when he goes up against teams that, this is the difference between Walker Kessler and why we're making big time declarations tonight, by the way. Walker Kessler officially better than Rudy Gobert, too. So the Jazz make the trade. They get a better player in Lauri Markkanen than Donovan Mitchell, and they made a trade with Minnesota, and they got Walker Kessler, who is a better player than Rudy Gobert. He just is. Sorry. If I offended you, stay. I don't know. Or go. Do whatever you want. Make a sandwich. But anyways, Walker Kessler tonight showed why he is such a dominant player and why he's going to be so good for this Jazz team. Why? Because the bigs for the Boston Celtics, look who's playing. Blake Griffin. He's more washed than Rudy Gay, okay? He played 18 minutes because he could not handle the smoke from Walker Kessler. 18 minutes, 6 points. He was played off the floor. And then they have like a mixture of Sam Hauser, Luke Cornett, Mike Muscala playing the big spot and just got dominated by Walker Kessler. Just dominated. And he's going to do that. And that's the thing that would never happen with Rudy Gobert because you would play against these lineups and Rudy couldn't punish them. But Walker Kessler does. He scores 12 points tonight. He gets 8 offensive rebounds. 8 offensive rebounds. Absolutely won the game. Won the game. This right here. That's incredible. 8 offensive rebounds and just absolutely crushed them on the inside. And then obviously makes the game-winning block at the end of the game. He is so good, and he is going to continue. If he just stays at this level, he is going to be so good for the Jazz for 10 years. So solid. But he's going to improve in his game. He's going to improve as a defender, his instincts, his just repetitions, experience. He's just going to get better and better and better. And then offensively, he can add some things. We've already seen him take 2 threes. This summer, can Walker Kessler go and take 1,000 threes every day and just start knocking those down? Why not? Because then if you get Walker Kessler on the perimeter, then things get really bonkers with this Jazz team not because threes are worth more than twos, which is true, but that's not why you do it. Why you do it is because it allows you to throw different offenses out there. If you have different matchups and you can do a 5-out offense with Walker Kessler, then you can run it. And he can shoot threes. And then guys like Lauri Markkanen are playing in isolation against a mismatch. Or if the Jazz get a stud in this draft, which I don't know if we will, but if they get someone that can break down a mismatch, then that helps in a 5-out offense. Absolutely incredible. And so it just gives you a chance to do more things. That's basically what you're trying to do, is you're just putting an offense out there that can take advantage of what the other team's weakness is. And so if Walker Kessler can develop that shot, it's not something he has to do, but if he can, then that's just a wrinkle in your offense you can throw out there, Why can't he become like Brook Lopez, who became that 3-point shooter, Why can't he figure it out? He's not quite the scorer that Brook Lopez was, but I don't think he's that far off. And if he can just spread that out maybe next season, then it changes everything. And then there's times where you want him near the basket. Like in a game like tonight, having him near the basket is incredible because look at this. 8 offensive rebounds. This is why the Jazz's offense continues to be just so good. Look at this. The Jazz are still the number 6 offense in the NBA for the season. Unbelievable. It's dropped a little recently, but that right here, this 8 offensive rebounds is why Walker Kessler gives you more possessions and you just punish them, So if a team has bigs that you want to spread out, if you can somehow get Walker out on the perimeter, then that can help you do a 5-out and you can do some different things. But when you're playing against a matchup like tonight, and he's just going to crush them. It's crazy. We've already mentioned him, but Ochai Agbaji might have had his best game of the season tonight. Big time game from Ochai. He hit that monster 3 at the end of the game. 4 for 8 from 3, and these are tough threes. These are not easy threes. Let's just watch the one. This won the game. I mean, among other plays, like for Walker Kessler. This right here. Was it this one? Yeah, this is they call that a spot shot, but that was a pull-up with Grant Williams in his face. And then you go right here. These are just big-time threes. These are what he wasn't doing to start. Oh, this is just the corner 3. Ochai's automatic from the corner. Automatic. And so he's just doing such impressive things. I don't know. I tonight was the first night where I was like, I don't know what he can become, but it's at the baseline, it is a high-level starter. I think is kind of is what he's going to be. High-level starter, can knock down threes. He gives you length and athleticism. He can drive it a little bit. Look at this. Tonight, 3 assists. That's playing within the offense. This is just confidence. And we know he can rebound the ball, but you got guys like these just dominating the rebounds. It's unbelievable. And him hitting big-time threes in a game like this, I know I'm pro-draft and pro-tank and everything, but those are nice to see him develop. Ochai Agbaji is going to be a big part of what the Jazz do next season. Taylor Horton-Tucker had a nice night tonight. I know the percentages don't quite look like it, but he was penetrating, getting to the rim, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. He had that one. They should have called it a block. They called it a foul, but it was a block shot. 19 points and a plus 11. He's turned into a nice player, and I hope he's on the Jazz next year because he can play backup guard or maybe starting guard. It depends on what happens with Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson, who I don't know. I'm starting to wonder if they're not going to be on the Jazz next year just because they've been holding them out so much. And I'm very much a big fan of Jordan Clarkson, and I like some of the things Colin Sexton does, but man, it's nice to see this all-around game from Taylor Horton-Tucker. It's a nice problem to have for the Jazz to make decisions on these guys. And my guess, and this is boring, but they're just going to do the best contract available. I mean, if Horton Tucker's still really young, he's like 21, 22. He's not old. So he's like younger than Abaji. Isn't that crazy? Simone Fontecchio continues to shoot the 3-ball well, so that's nice to see. Rudy Gay, 3 for 5 from 3. This drove me crazy. He's been good since trade deadline, shooting the ball. And then Chris Dunn, like we said, I mean, the shooting wasn't quite there tonight, but he did hit that 1-3. And he looks comfortable in Will Hardy's offense, and we all know what he does defensively. So, nice night for the Jazz. But a bad night in terms of getting a good draft pick. But guess what? One thing that might be happening for the Jazz is the Wolves are going to lose a lot of games to end the season. If you go here, let's go to remaining strength of schedule and just check this out. Utah still has one of the toughest schedules to end the year. Number 2. I thought the Wolves. Where are the Wolves? Oh, they're down here. They've got some cupcakes, but you need the Wolves to lose these games. These are monster games for them to lose because this also helps the Jazz. But, I mean, they just lost Anthony Edwards for the season, basically. There's like 10 to 12 games left for every team. I just don't see them winning a lot of games. And so when you look at this, by the way, it's crazy the Jazz keep winning. They have the number 2 toughest schedule. They keep winning. Anyways, Minnesota lost again. They've lost 3 in a row. Golden State's trying their best to fall out, but Minnesota's losing at a better rate. Let's see. Toronto has won 3. Good job by Toronto to help us out. And Oklahoma City is winning a lot of games lately. They're 6-4 in their last 10. Oklahoma City's legit good. Orlando won tonight. I just think the Jazz needed to lose tonight. They really did. Because there was even a shot at catching Orlando. Although they're 4-6 in their last 10, probably not. Portland doesn't care anymore. They've lost 5 in a row. They're liars. They are lying liars. They're trying to lose. Washington is also just, I mean, it's kind of crazy, some of these teams. Washington is so poorly run. You look at some of these teams and how poorly run they are. Charlotte's losing their owner, Michael Jordan. He's not been a very good owner. Orlando made a really good trade last year with Vucevic, and now look at what good positioning they have. They're going to get another player. It's crazy. Portland is so poorly run, they don't know how to do anything. They're stupid. Washington is so poorly run, they don't know what they're doing. Indiana has the cheapest owner in the NBA. The cheapest owner. He is the biggest cheapskate there is. The next year, they're completely going for it. But this year, Indiana is looking like they're not trying very hard. Although they've won 6 of their last 10. So maybe the Jazz can catch them if they stop trying. New Orleans, pathetic franchise. Pathetic in all ways. They're just pathetic. And Chicago, pathetic. Although they've won 2 in a row. So good job, Chicago. I think the Jazz are still going to get here. I still think. And they signed Jarrell Brantley, which makes me think maybe they are going to rest Markkanen at some point. But we shall see. I wonder if they rest him on the road. That just came to mind. I mean, why not? Rest him on the road, play him at home, make the fans happy at home, but rest him on the road. A win-win. A win-win-win. But anyways, I think the Jazz need to pick here. And I think Minnesota's going to drop. I think the Jazz are going to get like 2 picks in this range. So let's start the music, baby. All right. Let's do what we do. All right. So the Jazz currently are at number 13, which would get them Cason Wallace, who I actually like. If we got Cason Wallace, I'm happy. He looks like he could be Drew Holiday. And if there's one thing you can bet on, it's guards from Kentucky being better in the NBA. The guy just takes the ball out of people's hands. I'm kind of curious. Let's look at Cason Wallace. I love this guy. He reminds me of Drew Holiday. I looked at this earlier today. 3-point percentage, not that great. He doesn't take a lot of shots. He is super unselfish, is constantly moving the ball in their offense. I think he has a chance to be really good. And I hope the Jazz, honestly, if the Jazz pick him with like the Wolves pick, I'd be really happy. Because go to YouTube, search Cason Wallace defense, and you will have a good time, okay? Okay, turn that off because ESPN always plays that dumb music. But anyways, we're looking at someone like Jet Howard and Kaysen Wallace, which I guess is kind of what you're... And Jet Howard has a chance to be nice. I don't know. I want defensive players, though. That's why I like Kaysen Wallace. And then maybe someone like Taylor Hendricks. That's depressing. I don't want Keontae George. Too small for my taste. Man. Could we get Anthony Black? It'd be so nice. Such a defensive monster. Size at the point guard position. Gone it, guys. Got to lose a few more games, okay? Let's see what we win tonight if the lottery was today. If it was today, who do we get? Oh, Oklahoma City jumps 11 spots to get Wembanyama and pair him with SGA. That would make my life. I couldn't go on at that point. And that, oh man. Oh man. That would be just the worst. All right, let's give a shout out to our All-Stars tonight. Let's give a shout out to baby Elliot Matson, Ezekiel and Raicibe, the man from down under. See ya, Lexalator, Built Ford Tough, Alexander Tufts, Jorge Arrizaga, mi amigo de Abajo, Jordan the Goat, Best Roll, Jess Buckets, JB, Zap Watts, TGD, Total Game Domination, Christian House Money to Haas, Tyson Price, The Price is Right, X marks the spot for Zintas, Austin R. Grant, Editor Extraordinaire, DW to CB, Darren Williams to Carlos Boozer, Patrick Kakubo, The Connoisseur, and Robert Hall of Fame. All right, guys, that's all I got tonight. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel. I should have said that at the beginning. I will talk to you, and join the channel too. I would appreciate that. I will talk to you next time.